All right, we're here with a middle schooler, Bella. She is 12, almost 13. So we're going to talk about visual imagery today. I'm going to give you, have you ever seen one of these before?
I think so.
Do you remember what that's called?
Wordle?
That is a Wordle. So this is displaying a whole bunch of words in a very visually pleasing sort of way, in a kind of graphic. Visual imagery can be very useful in presenting your ideas and learning new materials. So there are a lot of different kinds of learners and there are different types of learners. So we are going to talk about visual learners. There's also auditory learners who learn best by hearing. And then we have students who learn best by reading and writing, and students who learn best by hands-on, like science experiments, things like that. So this is a little handout on using visual imagery, and it can be very useful in presenting your ideas, learning new materials. So name off some of these different visuals that you see in this graphic organizer here.
Icons, symbols, videos, illustrations, concept maps, photos.
So which of those really draws your eye when you are looking at a presentation or needing to present something?
I'd say like pictures and like clip art. I like the
different images.
The cute stuff.
Mm-hmm. So if you saw just words or then you saw an image and they both meant the same thing, which one would you be more drawn to?
Probably the image.
Mm-hmm. Visuals are a powerful learning tool, and like I was saying, incorporating the visuals can help to create more meaningful presentations, so that can get your peers and your teachers' attention a little bit more. So I'm going to show you, let me put that over here for a second. I'm going to show you something called Glogster. So this is Glogster. I have a little presentation that I set up on here. This was my first glog, was the template for this. And to set up your Glogster account, you begin by entering your email and choosing a password, which we're going to have you do. And then there's a free trial right now, and then students can get it, or teachers, for a discounted rate. But there's a lot of different templates, or you can make your own. So I really like the way that this visual really draws my eye to it. And you were able to add a video, so I thought that was neat.
I like the way it looks.
Of course, there's a commercial, so we'll just mute the commercial for a second. But what was neat is that all of these different images I was able to find through this site, instead of like having to download them to, or screenshot, or find the image and save image to my, and use up my memory. These were all, you were able to search them through the website.
Here's a question. Do you sometimes have difficulty remembering people's names, but you're great at remembering their faces? Or maybe you're really good at moving odd-shaped furniture around corners, or packing your car full with so much stuff everyone told you it was going to be impossible. If so, you might just be a visual thinker. How about this? Try and remember an event from your past. What happens? Do you find yourself remembering something fuzzy, like the significance or emotion or mood around that event? Or do you remember specific scenes and images? For some people, it turns out that images and spatial relationships seem to dominate their thinking process. Basically, they think in pictures. It's thought that upwards of 60% of people are in this category, and it's a continuum, not all or none. Some people just think this way more than others. For example, for some people, and this might be you, a messy desk isn't a problem at all. You know where everything is, but you know where it is in relation to everything else. So when someone comes along and cleans that desk up, supposedly helping you organize, you completely feel lost and you can't find anything. The same sort of spatial thinking that helps you navigate a messy desk can be incredibly powerful. The chess grandmaster Bobby Fischer said that he could see all of the pieces on the chessboard even when it wasn't in front of him, which allowed him to practice and play in his head. Nikola Tesla, a pretty amazing inventor, took this one step further and said he was able to build and rebuild complicated machines in his mind and then run them to see where the moving parts could potentially fail. When he was only 24 years old, the inventor Thomas Edison described his experience this way: "I have innumerable machines in my mind now, which I shall continue to illustrate and describe day by day when I have the spare time." But this kind of thinking, visual thinking, sometimes comes with a price. Namely, it can be hard to communicate what you're thinking to other people. Maybe you've had this experience where you see something pretty clearly in your head, but you wind up needing to draw it to explain it to someone else. Albert Einstein often said words failed him to describe the images in his head, but it turned out that those images were the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. It was after he envisioned a man riding a wave of light that he was able to construct his theory of relativity. James Clerk Maxwell, the mathematical physicist, had a similar experience. His colleagues urged him to show the relationship between energy, entropy, and volume using equations, which is how they best communicated ideas. Instead, he used clay and plaster to show the relationship in the way that he understood it, as a physical and visual.
Okay, so
I'm going to do a book report on this book, The Babysitter's Club, Marianne Saves the Day.
all right.
I like this one. Now what do I do? Click on? Oh.
All right, so you don't want to share it.
Okay.
So this one is, I don't know if you can adjust this one or if it's just already made. Let's see. I think we have to go back, and this is one of the examples, so you need to go back and find one of the templates.
Okay. Will this one work?
So just try and click on stuff, and let's see if you can edit it. Oh, that's a neat feature.
Ooh, that's cool. I don't think so. It's not working. How about this one?
Alright, so I think you need to go back.
Oops.
Oh, I think if you just click this.
Oh, cool.
So what you want to do is add, you want to make a glog. There you go. And there's all the templates. So those were examples to kind of get inspired.
Okay.
So you got several different ones that were for book reports. This is just showing you
Whoops. What did I do?
Okay, so you've clicked on that image. Now you'll be able to, you can use your own images, or so does it give you any other options?
No.
Okay, so
Maybe web?
yeah, you can try web. Pick any photos, videos, or text from the web using the browser. that's a good strategy. So she's just getting all of her different images while she's there that she thinks she would use. And tell us what you're doing right now.
I'm looking for graphics to put on the Glogster. How do you search for graphics?
I don't know. Yours is a little bit different than the one I was using on the computer. So I think that just doing your web search is probably, that's the only search that it was giving me. Was,
Okay.
It would search the web for me. So you can kind of scroll and then you can search the web if you want something different. And the version of the Babysitters Club that you like is...
By Raina Telgemeier.
And what is different about this book?
It's like graphics, so you can like tell like what they're saying, how they mean it by like the facial expressions, and I really like the pictures.
So it's like all graphics.
Yeah, like there's little speech bubbles, but that's the part that you read.
Okay. So that's another example of visual imagery that is really prevalent in your life.
I'm gonna put this because there's an emergency in the book.
Oh. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this while you're doing that. So one study explored the effects of visual imagery on the classroom to find that even students who did not essentially identify with being a visual learner, like the types of learners that we learned about, still gained a lot of benefits from the use of the visual imagery. So it helps to provide accuracy in the images so that, you know, if you're like reading in a text and you picture something in your mind, it might not be exactly what the author was wanting you to picture or what, you know, the text was really meaning. But if it's a picture, it just explains it a little easier for us.
That's why I like these books, because you can tell.
And also, the visual imagery increases vocabulary. It creates and maintains more interest. And it provides a concrete example for the abstract or conceptual thinking. So with technology being so important and incorporated so much into your life, why would you think that using this kind of an app to do a book report is more interesting than to just make one?
I think that my classmates would pay attention to me more if I was using this because it's like it looks prettier and it looks cooler, and I think it would like draw people's attention because it looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it better because like the slideshows, they're just kind of like really plain and boring, and I mean like you can change the font but it's still pretty boring, where this is really cool and I don't think any of my other classmates will have it, so people will really like look at it and pay attention.
Do you think that this kind of presentation, does this kind of remind you of anything that you maybe kind of find in visual imagery amongst your peers right now, like with social media or... your generation and your friends, you guys all use the social media, different types of social media. So does this, as opposed to like a paper book report, does this relate better to anything that you guys are using with imagery?
I think so, for sure. It's like digital, so I can like post it if I'm proud of it. And I think that like it'd be cool because it's a lot better because people can like actually pay attention to it, whereas like a paper one you'd have to like pass around, and this you can like show everybody, and I think it'd be easier for people to understand what I'm saying.
Did you say you could share it, so you could put that on like Instagram or something like that, or Facebook?
Yeah.
If you had a Facebook. So tell us what you're doing right now.
Right now I'm giving a summary of the book in my first text box so that people know what's going on.
And is this something you could actually use for school?
Yes, for sure. I'm gonna, after this is over, after I'm done with this, I'm going to make another one for some project I have at school. I'm gonna find a project to do it with.
While she's typing her summary, here I'm going to show you just a couple of the differences between the account and on the laptop and the app that she's using, which I said was a little more user-friendly. But I can just show you so once I published this and I completed it, I have the options to send to friends, add to my prepared glogs. I can embed it into a page. So if I was going to create a new glog, just give you an example here. So when I was saying that you could replace the image, I can either use the ones that I have looked up already, or I can search images. And then it's going to give me like a Google search of these different images, and I can select one. I can choose to add a frame if I want to. And then that just goes ahead and adds it. And I have to move it and make it smaller or larger. You can change the colors of it. And then that's also how you can add the video like I did also. And then these little icons can either make it go to the front or to the back, kind of like Photoshop. So let's check on Bella's app. How's your summary going?
Good.
So we can start wrapping it up in a couple minutes here so we can see your finished product.
Okay.
You can add to your summary a little more later, but at least you can show us, and I'd like to see you explore the wall and maybe the audio. Maybe you might want to add a song or...
Okay.
And she also has a wireless keyboard that she could be using if she's going to be typing a lot of text. Whoops. How would you rate this app as far as navigating?
It was a little tricky at first because it's different than what I'm used to, but I think it's fairly easy to use. Uh-oh. There we go.
Okay. Now, do you want to see what the wall feature does?
Okay.
That gives you different choices for your background color.
Ooh, can I record myself saying my summary?
Sure.
Uh-oh, covered it. I'll move it down here so I can read it. The Babysitter's Club, Marianne Saves the Day. Summary by Bella. The BSC Club meets one day and gets into a fight over who's babysitting Lucy, a new baby from a client. Marianne tells the members mean things that she later regrets. Later in the night, she is lonely and wishes her friends weren't mad at her. Lucky for Marianne, there is a new girl, Dawn, at school the next day. She befriends Dawn and brags to the other BSC members that she has a friend. Later at a babysitting job, a little girl falls sick and Marianne needs the other BSC members. Read the book to find out what happens next.
Very cool. So it gives you a little play button.
Yeah, it's really cute. It matches my
Nice.
theme.
All right, and there you have it. And there we go. So we're going to,
This button?
yeah. And there it is.
Oh, I forgot to put a title.
You can add that.
Okay.
This has been Glogster, and we're signing out.
Bye.
Thanks, Bella.